Let's begin by offering our respects to ISKCON founder Acharya and our preeminent Shiksha Guru, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpa Taruvyascha Kripa Sindhu Vyayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Please repeat after me. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo
Om
Bhagavate
Bhagavate
Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo
Om
Bhagavate
Bhagavate
Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya.
Okay, so we welcome all of you to our weekly online Bhagavad Gita classes. Thank you very
Thank
much
you.
for. We have with us here Auntie Nita, Jolie, Karuna, N.C. Venkachari, and my parents are there, Durga Prasad, Shivani, Manju, Devina, Ayush, and I don't know who is Samsung SM. Okay, so and Aja has joined us recently. Okay, so what did we see in the previous class?
All the qualities
Of qualities of devotees or demons, divine or demoniac natures.
demoniac nature.
Demoniac.
Okay, we started the chapter
16.
16. The title is
The divine and the dynamic nature.
yes, the divine and demoniac natures. So in the first three verses, Krishna describes the divine natures. Okay, he describes the divine natures. So we discussed all these natures in detail. And now Krishna is going to talk about the demoniac natures, starting from the fourth verse.
Shlok 4.
Yeah, Shlok 4. So we'll see what are the demoniac natures that Krishna describes. Who can read today?
I can read.
Okay, thank you, Aja. So
Oh,
let's
do I have to read now?
no, let's hear the Shlok.
After Shlok.
दम्भो दर्पोऽभिमानश्च क्रोधः पारुष्यमेव च अज्ञानं चाभिजातस्य पार्थसम्पदमासुरीम्.
Translation. Pride, arrogance, conceit, anger, harshness, and ignorance. These qualities belong to those of demoniac nature, O son of Pratha.
So here Krishna is describing the demoniac natures. So he mentions pride, arrogance, conceit, anger, harshness, and ignorance. Right? So how many demoniac natures he's describing here?
6.
6. How many divine natures he described in the first 3 shlokas?
26.
26. Yes, very nice. So let's see. What here Krishna is very briefly describing the demoniac natures in this verse, but going forward he will describe them in more detail. So let's see some from the purport. See, when we did the first 3 shlokas, we discussed about the importance of the word abhijatasya. Does anybody remember the significance of that word abhijatasya? It's here also in this verse. Abhijatasya. Abhijatasya means one is born of. So what does that mean? When do the qualities, when does a person have certain qualities? Is it from birth?
When they're born.
They are born, no? They are born. This word abhijatasya means one is born of these, one is born of certain qualities, maybe divine, maybe demoniac. So what determines what kind of qualities our children would have if one wants to have a child? How can we make sure that our child has divine qualities?
We have to be pure first, right? Do prayers every day.
So a person who's pure and does prayers every day, what does he do? He follows the rules and regulations of
Yamas, niyamas.
yamas and niyamas, no? He follows the rules and regulations of the Shastra. And the Shastra has prescribed some samskaras. So one samskara that is done before the child is conceived to attract a good soul in the womb of the mother is what samskara?
The child which is born.
What is the name of the samskara?
Garbhasthan.
Garbhadana samskara, isn't it? So like this, we were discussing in detail in the previous class how one can attract a child with divine natures by doing the Garbhadana samskara. So like this, how the Shastras have given prescriptions, no? Given prescriptions and given different samskaras, and it's important to follow those samskaras. Garbhadana samskara assures that one can attract a child with divine qualities in the womb of the mother. So just as how Krishna used the word abhijatasya previously, when he was describing the divine qualities, in the third shloka, he uses the word abhijatasya. In the same way, he is using the word abhijatasya even for the demoniac qualities. So even these demoniac qualities, one is born with these demoniac qualities. Of course, other things also matter, the upbringing and once the child is in the womb, the education that the child is receiving in the womb, all that also matters. But all that is again patchwork, because you already have attracted a particular soul with particular qualities, and later we are trying to do the corrections. We're trying to do the corrections. So that is a little more difficult, or far more difficult than actually initially itself. If you do the Garbhadana Samskar and attract a child with divine qualities, then it becomes much more easier. Becomes much more easier. Okay, so let us see some of the points from the purport. So here Srila Prabhupada is explaining again the importance of the word abhijatasya. These qualities are taken on by them from the beginning of their bodies in the wombs of their mother. As they grow, they manifest all inauspicious qualities. So yes, the child is born with these qualities, and as they grow, then these qualities will be manifest. Then it will start showing. Then the parents, sometimes the parents who do not have Vedic education, they wonder what went wrong. Why? Why is my child like this? So one has to remember that one has attracted a child with certain qualities. So what are the demonic qualities? 6 qualities. Pride. Demoniac want to make a show of religion and advancement in spiritual science, but do not follow the principles. So previously we have discussed what is a show bottle spiritualism. Show bottle spiritualism. Externally they make a show of religion, but actually, they are not advanced in spiritual life. Sometimes that show of religion is only because they want to be in the social circle. No, it's more of a social life. Or they want to show the people that, yes, I'm very, very religious. But it's only show bottle spiritualism. But actually, they do not follow the principles. Arrogance. Proud in possessing some education or wealth, and thus arrogant. So the demoniac, people with demoniac mentality, they are proud of their education, proud of their wealth, or proud of anything that they may possess, and they become arrogant. Conceit. They demand respect but do not command respect. They desire to be worshipped by others. So they demand respect. They demand that people should worship me. Just like Hiranyakashipu, no? He wanted that everybody should worship him like God. Everybody should worship him as though he is God. But they do not command respect. What does that mean, command respect? They do not behave in such a way that people will automatically respect them. That is called commanding respect. If you see a pure devotee, that pure devotee will not demand respect, but he commands respect. By his behavior, automatically the people will want to worship him. Anger. Over trifles, they become angry. So for small reasons, people are becoming angry. The demoniac people. You will see nowadays there are so many murders that are taking place for small matters. There is something called as a road rage. Road rage means somebody hits your car and then there is an argument. Let's say there's an argument between the two people, and that can also lead to drastic consequences. It can even lead to murder, or just somebody cutting you through, somebody overspeeding you. So it's called as road rage. So people are becoming angry for trivial reasons. Harshness, they speak very harshly. They speak very harshly. It's become a fashion nowadays too for people to say that, oh, I always speak the truth. The truth is bitter. So they end up hurting people. They end up um, committing offenses towards other devotees, towards other Vaishnavas. But one must always understand that yes, truth is bitter, but it doesn't have to be said in a bitter way. It doesn't have to be said in a bitter way. Then ignorance, not knowing what to do and what not to do, because they are ignorant of the Shastra. They don't know what is right and what is wrong. So because then what do? They whimsically act according to their own desire. So whatever they think is right, whatever they think is wrong, then they act accordingly. They have no knowledge of what is right and wrong according to Shastra. They do not recognize any authority. They do not want to take the subordinate position and recognize an authority above them. So these are the 6 demoniac qualities that Krishna describes in brief, but later he will elaborate on it further. So if you see the Kauravas, Duryodhana, he had all these 6 qualities: pride, arrogance, conceit, anger, harshness, and ignorance. So all these demoniac qualities were present in Duryodhana. One sometimes asks, why is it that Krishna focuses more on demoniac qualities than on divine qualities? Because only 3 shlokas Krishna dedicates to divine qualities in this chapter, and the rest of the chapter he is describing in great detail the demoniac qualities. So the reason why Krishna focuses more on demoniac qualities is because he wants Arjuna to realize how his opponents on the opposite side, they have all these demonic qualities. And what will happen if they have power in their hands? How much devastation it would lead to, how much the society would degrade, and how much the people under them will suffer if they become the next rulers of the kingdom. So therefore, Krishna focuses more on the demoniac qualities. See, pride, there is a saying that says pride comes before the fall. But does pride fall? Even people, when they fall because of their pride, that pride still does not go for people who have demoniac natures. See, Chaitanya Charan Prabhu writes this very nice article on his website, gitadaily.com. He says, Duryodhan repeatedly tried to destroy his cousins, the Pandavas. Driven by arrogance, he resorted to increasingly devious schemes. Yet, through each of his attempts, the Pandavas emerged stronger and he became exposed as evil. Despite such stark failure, he always found some extraneous factor to blame. He never acknowledged that his pride was the problem and never strove to free himself from it. Consequently, his pride made him fall repeatedly till in the Kurukshetra war, it brought about his fatal final fall. Thankfully, Gita wisdom stands ready to empower us to bring about the fall of the pride within us, thereby freeing us to live humbly, purposefully, and fruitfully. So, although Duryodhana many times he was defeated because of the power of the virtuousness of the Pandavas, still his pride never went. That's the nature of the demoniac. So now that Krishna has mentioned these demoniac natures, Arjuna is probably thinking, okay, Krishna has described the divine natures, he has described the demoniac natures. So what category do I belong to? Arjuna may question, no? Because now I have to fight the war, I have to kill the people on the opposite side, and some of those people are great personalities. So am I divine or am I demoniac, considering that I have to fight and kill? So Krishna eases his doubt in this next verse.
दैवी सम्पद्विमोक्षाय निबन्धाय सुरीमता मा शुचः सम्पदं दैवीम् अभिजातोऽसि पाण्डव.
Translation. The transcendental qualities are conducive to liberation, whereas the demoniac qualities make for bondage. Do not worry, O son of Pandu, for you are born with the divine qualities.
So Krishna is saying transcendental qualities are conducive, suitable for one to attain liberation. But demoniac qualities will make for bondage. One will be caught up in the cycle of birth and death over and over and over and over again. Then Krishna says, don't worry, O Arjuna, O son of Pandu, you are born with divine qualities. Now, why do you think Arjuna is born with divine qualities? Even though he is going to fight and kill and shed blood. What is the difference in the fighting of Duryodhana and the fighting of Arjuna?
He is fighting for Krishna, right?
He is fighting because Krishna wants him to fight. Just execute the order. So, is it correct to follow the instructions of Krishna?
Yes.
Yes. Did Krishna give some instructions to the opposite party as well?
I think he tried to talk to Duryodhana, right?
Yes, he went there as a peace messenger, is it not? Krishna went there, personally he went there as a peace messenger. And what did he ask?
For 5 gaon.
Only 5 villages. No, he said only give 5 villages and there would be no war. What did Duryodhana say?
Not even a place for needle.
He said he is not willing to give even that much of land that can be measured by the tip of a needle. Did Krishna give any instruction to Karna? Instruction, not instruction, but advice. Did he give any advice to Karna?
Yes. Yes.
What was it?
To leave Duryodhana and fight with them.
Yes, he said leave Duryodhana and join the Pandavas. Was that in favor of Karna?
Yes.
What did he say? He said that you will be the king. You will rule over the kingdom. What did Karna say?
No, He refused.
Why did he refuse? What was his reason?
Because Duryodhan always helped him when there was nobody. Everybody was calling him names, Sut Putra and everything, but Duryodhan stood up for him. So he owe him.
Yes. See, demoniac nature. They do not know what to do and what not to do, so they whimsically act according to their own desire. Did Karna do exactly this? Did Karna recognize that Krishna is authority? So
No.
therefore, whatever he says is dharma, and therefore I should just execute the order. No,
Yeah.
Karna whimsically acted according to his own desire. He thought that what he is saying is a higher dharma, is a higher truth, is a higher duty than what Krishna is telling me to do. There can be anything higher than what Krishna instructs. Can there be
No,
anything higher?
no, no,
No, because Krishna is a supreme personality of Godhead. Who can go higher than that? Hmm? Same
no,
thing. If you apply this to Duryodhan also, they don't know what to do and what not to do. Did Duryodhan ever recognize anybody as authority?
no,
Did he act according to Shastra? Did he know what he should do and what not to do according to Shastra?
no.
He
No.
whimsically acted according to his own desire. So just see how perfectly you can apply this to these other demoniac characters in the Mahabharata.
Mataji, can I ask you one question?
Yes.
So Duryodhan didn't know that Krishna was Lord, but Karan knew, right?
See, there is a difference between knowing and applying the knowledge. If you say, yeah, Karna knew, but he didn't know. You can say like that. We know, but still sometimes we don't know. We choose not to know. We choose to. So yeah, knowledge and difference between knowledge and application of the knowledge was the problem with Karna. And also Duryodhan. No, you see all the Kauravas, did they not see when Krishna showed the universal form? When Krishna went as a peace messenger, did they not see the universal form of Krishna? So didn't they know that Krishna is God?
But he thought Yes. that he's just someone who doing, he had Devi Shakti and doing magic and all that stuff.
Yeah, that's what he said externally, but still,
He was proud.
yes, because they have these demoniac natures. You know and you don't know. You choose to just ignore it, even though you know.
So you're saying that Duryodhan knew, but he chose to ignore it. That this is the
Yes, because
oh.
there are many times when it was shown to him, and he was also told by so many people. He was even told by others that Krishna is God. But he never recognized any authority. That's the problem of the demoniac people.
I thought when the rat room was shown, when he tried to make him Bandi, Duryodhan was covered by Maya, Yog Maya. So
Yeah, all the demonic people are covered by Maya only, no?
so then they don't know, right? Even though Bhishma Pitta knew for certain, certainly he knew that this is Lord Krishna, but was that way Duryodhan didn't know, right?
Not like Bhishma Pitama, because Bhishma Pitama, he knew it and he also realized it.
Yeah.
Knowing knowing one thing and realizing it, no, to actually realize it, to internalize it. That
Yes.
Duryodhana did not do. He did not internalize that knowledge.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Hare Krishna.
So Arjuna, coming back to Arjuna, he was fighting this war because Krishna instructed him to do. Arjuna is not fighting this war out of greed for the kingdom, nor was he fighting the war because he wanted to take revenge. No, he did not have that animosity in his heart, and he did not have that hatred in his heart towards the Kauravas when he was fighting the war. Arjuna was ready to go to the forest. He was willing to give up everything and just go to the forest and live the life of a renunciate. So Arjuna definitely is not demoniac. See here, two men standing where the staircase takes its turn are being offered both liberation and bondage. So here you can see, here there is a turn. This person here has surrendered to Guru, and Guru is showing him the way to Krishna. But this person here has made his choice to turn away from Guru's instructions, and he is being lured away by Maya. So this is what Maya does. Initially, she promises you the world, no? Very, very attractive. Everything seems so perfect, and you think that, oh, my future is very, very nice. This is very boring. This is so very attractive, and this is going to be so much fun, so much more wonderful. So then what happens? He makes his choice and then begins his fall down. So you can see here, because of his attachment, pride, false prestige, anger, ignorance, envy, lust, greed, all these demoniac qualities, he is gliding down to hell. He is being degraded. One man looks upward following the spiritual master who points towards Sri Radha Krishna. The other man embraces the demoniac qualities by accepting the garland offered by Maya, Krishna's illusory energy. Drawn by ropes which are held by the personifications of lust, anger, and greed, he follows her down the steps. At the bottom, he is gliding for Maya and gliding towards hell. So we must use our intelligence and make the right choice. Let's go to 6.
द्वौ भूतसर्गौ लोकेऽस्मिन् दैव आसुर एव च दैवो विस्तरशः प्रोक्त आसुरं पार्थ मे शृणु.
Translation. O son of Partha, in this world there are two kinds of created beings. One is called divine and the other demoniac. I have already explained to you at length the divine qualities. Now hear from me of the demoniac.
So Krishna is dividing the whole population into two categories, divine and demoniac. He says, I've already explained to you at length the divine qualities, which is the first 3 shlokas. He has already explained that. Now he's saying, now hear from me of the demoniac. So starting from the next verse, we will see how Krishna is going to elaborate on the demoniac natures, and this he does from 7th verse to right up to the 18th verse. See, Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport that both the demigods and demons are born from Prajapati. So Prajapati actually, Prajapati is a word that in general is used to describe an ancestor from whom everybody else has come. So here Prajapati refers to Kashyapa Muni. Kashyapa Muni is the father of the demons as well as of the Devatas, people of the demoniac as well as the divine natures. He had Diti and Aditi as his wives. Those who are born from Aditi became the
gods.
Yes, Adityas, no? Adityas. And those who were born from Diti became the
Asuras.
Asuras or the Daityas, no? So Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksh. Hiranyaksh was the first demon. So they were actually born from the union of Kashyapa and Diti. So the only criteria of differentiation between the two, as mentioned in the purport, is obedience to the regulative principles of scriptures. One who follows Shastra, one who obeys the injunctions of the Shastra is divine. One who does not follow the injunctions of the Shastra and acts according to his own whimsical decisions, then that person is demoniac. It's as simple as that, Krishna says. So what are the activities of the demoniac? Let's see.
प्रवृत्तिं च निवृत्तिं च जनान विदुरासुराः न शौचं नापि चाचारो न सत्यं तेषु विद्यते.
Translation. Those who are demoniac do not know what is to be done and what is not to be done. Neither cleanliness nor proper behavior nor truth is found in them.
So the demoniac They do not know what is to be done and what is not to be done because they are not following the Shastras. So therefore they act whimsically. Then neither cleanliness. So they are not clean neither externally nor internally. No, external cleanliness we maintain by having a bath. Internal cleanliness, for internal cleanliness, what do we do? We chant the holy name. The more we chant, the more the mirror of the heart is cleaned of the dust that we have accumulated over so many millions and millions of lifetimes. No, just like how if the room is closed for long periods, then the dust starts to accumulate on the mirror. So when we clean the mirror, then the dust can be moved away. So like that, when we can clean the mirror of our heart by chanting the holy name. So what happens when we enter a room that is full of dust and we start cleaning? Is it a very pleasant experience?
No.
No,
Yes.
because all that dust is rising. No, it is disturbing. It goes into our eyes, it goes into our nose, and we may start to sneeze. It may cause some allergic reaction. So it's not a very pleasant experience when we start cleaning a room full of dust. But then do we stop cleaning?
No. Yes, of
No.
course we clean.
We have to continue to clean. If we want that room to be clean, although the dust that is rising is causing some inconvenience, we continue to clean that room. And definitely that time will come when the room is spick and span and it is a very, very pleasant place to be in. In the same way, when we start chanting, initially, we do not have the taste for chanting. We do not like to chant. No, we may have to force ourselves to chant, but that doesn't mean we stop chanting. We keep chanting, we keep chanting, we keep chanting. And the day will definitely come when we develop the taste for chanting. And then we cannot be without chanting. The day we don't chant, then you just feel everything is going wrong for you during that day. No, so in the same way, just as how we do not stop cleaning a dirty room, in the same way we do not stop chanting. Even though initially we don't have the taste, we may not enjoy chanting so much, but we still continue to chant. Okay, so neither cleanliness nor proper behavior nor truth is found in them. So their achara, their behavior also is not proper and they are not speaking the truth, satyam. So 4 qualities here Krishna is mentioning. So let's see some points from the Shastras. They act whimsically and not according to the set of scriptural rules and regulations set up for a civilized society. Either they do not know scriptural rules and regulations, and even if they know, they have no inclination to follow. So this is the thing. Now, sometimes we know, but we do not know. That is, we know, but we do not want to follow. So lack of faith. Lack of faith in the Vedas, lack of faith in the sages. We do not want to accept instructions or experiences of the great sages. No, we do not want to accept authority. The Aryans are the most civilized, advanced people, and they adopt the Vedic injunctions as it is. So what determines if one is advanced and one is civilized? Not if one is very sophisticated externally, but if one is following the Vedic injunctions, then one is considered to be advanced and civilized. Otherwise, one is only a animal, living like an animal. Doesn't matter if you're living in a posh 7-star hotel. If one is not following Vedic instructions, then one is not civilized. One is not advanced. Unclean. He neither likes nor follows these rules. External cleanliness, bathing, shaving, brushing, etc. Internal cleanliness by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Improper behavior. Manu Samhita is the guide for human behavior, especially Hindus follow it. Improper behavior with others, anger and harshness. Manu Samhita explains the laws of inheritance and other legalities also, examples of proper social behavior. Women should not be given freedom. Now, this can be a point of debate. Women should not be given freedom. But if one understands Shastric injunctions, then we can understand what this sentence actually means. We have discussed how women, by nature, they are run by emotions. No, a man uses his brain, the woman uses more her heart. So the divisions of or the duties of the man and the woman are divided according to the nature of the man and according to the nature of the woman. Because the woman uses her heart more, she's run more by emotions. Therefore, it is very easy for a woman to be cheated, no, to be uh, what do you call it? To be abused and to be manipulated. It's very easy for a woman because she goes more by the heart. For the man, it's more difficult. Women are more easy victims for others for the other predators. So women must be protected in all ages, not as slaves, but as children. Just as how we protect our children, because our children are less intelligent. In the same way, we protect the women because women are less intelligent. Less intelligent means, again, because the women use their hearts more than the brain. So therefore, they can become easy victims. Therefore, women are protected. When something is very precious, if we have a very precious stone, a diamond, a ruby, we keep it protected in a nice box, isn't it? But if we have a stone, just a normal stone that we pick up from the road, then are we going to save it and protect it in a nice box? No, because that's not
No.
important. So when women are protected is because it's very, very important because they're very important for the future. The future of the society depends on the women. The future of the society depends on what kind of upbringing the women are giving to their children. No. So therefore, women should be protected. That doesn't mean that they are slaves. It only means that they are very, very important for us. Result of modern woman liberation. Moral condition of woman is not very good, and marriage is practically an imagination. Marriage is practically an imagination. So actually, if you see in this age of so-called women's liberation, there is more abuse, there is more manipulation, and women are more unhappy now in the modern age, in the times of women's liberation, so-called women's liberation. But previous ages were when women were protected by their fathers, by their husbands, or by their sons, this kind of abuse and this kind of manipulation would not happen. Women were actually given the highest respect in the society. We know, no, Lord Ram fought a war to bring one Sita back when he can have millions of Sitas. He is the supreme personality of Godhead. He can have millions of Sitas, but to bring back one Sita, he fought a war. He built a bridge across the ocean. No, he took help from monkeys, and he brought Sita back. Even in Mahabharata, Draupadi, they tried to disrobe Draupadi. At the end of it, what happened? They all had to give up their lives. Those who were in the opposite party, all of them had to give up their lives. Even somebody like Bhishma and Dronacharya, because they were a party, they remained quiet during the disrobing of Draupadi. They did not protest. That was the reason why they had to also give up their life. They also had to pay a heavy price for the attempted disrobing of Draupadi. So if you see in the previous ages, women were treated with highest respect. But now in the modern time, in the age of so-called women liberation, is there any respect for women? No.
No.
So therefore, the Vedic system of protecting women is in the favor of the women. It's only now a narrative has been created, that modern independent women should do whatever she wants. Why should she accept the dominance of others? Why should she remain protected by the others? It's only a narrative that has been created because it suits those predators in the society. It suits them that the women are not under the protection of their fathers or their husbands or their sons. It suits them. So therefore, the narrative has been created. Just as how previously we have discussed in 1920s, there was this campaign in the United States of America called Torches of Freedom, where it was advertised that women who smoke, they are cool and they are independent, and independent women who are not under the dominance of anybody else, they smoke. No, this kind of advertising was done, and actually it was carried out by the cigarette companies. Why? Because they realized that they have already exhausted the market for men. All the men in America, whomever they could target, they had already targeted and they had got them smoking. So now they wanted to expand their market, they wanted to increase their sales. So they started with this campaign of Torches of Freedom. And then they advertised women because now they wanted women to start smoking so that they can sell more cigarettes. So these things are done because it favors those who are advertising such things. But if you just stick to the Shastras, then we know how it is actually in our favor. Uh, it's for our well-being. If you just Google Torches of Freedom, you will be able to read this in detail. Okay. Untruthfulness. They concoct philosophies for their own purpose. So the demoniac people, they concoct philosophies. No, they do not. When they preach, also they will not keep the philosophy as it is. They will change it, twist it, so that it suits them for their own purpose. So now, recently also, somebody asked me for Janmashtami fast, and they said no, but I want to drink my tea, so I will keep some money aside for God, and then I will drink my tea. So where does the where do the scriptures state that you can keep, is what I mean, are you bribing the Lord because you want to do something? So you cannot concoct philosophies for your own purposes. It's okay if one cannot do it because one, but then what you accept that, okay, I cannot do this. So therefore, please forgive me. I can do this. I can follow this level. I have a health issue, or I am addicted, or have an addiction, whatever it may be. But you cannot concoct the philosophy and say that, oh, it is fine. This is okay. It does not matter. Everybody else is doing it. So that doesn't mean that it is right. No. So you cannot concoct the philosophy for your own purpose. Okay. Let's see what Krishna says next.
असत्यमप्रतिष्ठं ते जगदाहुरनीश्वरम् अपरस्परसम्भूतं किमन्यत् कामहैतुकम्.
Translation: They say that this world is unreal, with no foundation, no God in control. They say it is produced of sex desire and has no cause other than lust.
So the demoniacs say that this world is unreal, with no foundation, no God in control. So they do not want to accept authority. Remember, they do not want to accept authority. So they think that there is no God in control. Everything is happening mechanically. Everything is happening because of some material cause. No, the world came into existence because of a Big Bang theory. Therefore, all the planets are floating in space. Therefore, all the sun and moon and all these planets have come into existence. Everything happened because there was a explosion in space. No, this is the demoniac mentality. They do not want to accept an authority. There is no God in control. This world is unreal with no foundation. They say it is produced of sex desire and has no cause other than lust. So just because two people had lusty desires and they united and therefore we come into existence. This is the demoniac mentality. But we know what is the Bhagavatam's version, no? How creation happened, Some of the devotees who have scientific backgrounds, they explain how when Pradhana becomes Prakriti, remember Pradhana and Prakriti when we discuss creation in great detail, the agitation, no? Or the whole thing, the material world is converted from the pradhana stage, from the unmanifested stage, to prakriti, which is the manifest stage. that is referred to by the scientists as the Big Bang, but they don't know that actually that Big Bang explosion is the conversion of the material world from the pradhana to prakriti. Very interesting. There is a lot of discussion on this if you research it. Anyway, we will not get into that now. Let's see what Krishna says next.
एतां दृष्टिमवष्टभ्य नष्टात्मानोऽल्पबुद्धयः प्रभवन्त्युग्रकर्माणः क्षयाय जगतो हिताः.
Translation: Following such conclusions, the demoniac, who are lost to themselves and who have no intelligence, engage in unbeneficial, horrible works meant to destroy the world.
Following such conclusions, which conclusions? Which Krishna just spoke in the previous chapter, where they think that there is no God. There is no God. Everything has only a material cause. There is no foundation. There is no God in control. So when they follow such conclusions, then what happens? They are lost to themselves. They have no intelligence, and they engage in what kind of works? Unbeneficial, horrible works. See, ugra karma. Krishna uses the word ugra karma. So they engage in horrible works. So you can see how each country now is so busy piling up more and more atomic weapons. They're very proud of their atomic weapons, and the whole world can be destroyed in no time, isn't it? So they are engaged in unbeneficial, horrible works meant to destroy the world, And Krishna says that they have no intelligence. Alpa buddhaya. So they have no intelligence here. They are less intelligent, Krishna is saying. Let's see some points from the purport. Attitude, they are lost to themselves, illusion, and they have no intelligence. Engagement, engage in unbeneficial, horrible works meant to destroy the world. So illusion, no intelligence, because they think to be advancing, but they are engaged in work that is destructive. So they think that they are very advanced, they are very intelligent, very smart, but actually they are engaged in works that is destructive. Ugra karma, painful, horrible, destructive acts, trying to enjoy sense gratification, they engage in materialistic inventions with the only result of violence and cruelty to other living beings. Two examples, animal killing and nuclear weapons. So two examples of Ugra karma, Srila Prabhupada explains, and the purport is killing of the animals and nuclear weapons. Let us see 10.
काममाश्रित्य दुष्पूरम् दम्भमानमदान्विताः मोहाद् गृहीत्वा सद्ग्राहान् प्रवर्तन्ते शुचिव्रताः.
Translation: taking shelter of insatiable lust and absorbed in the conceit of pride and false prestige, the demoniac, thus illusion, are always sworn to unclean work, attracted by the impermanent.
So here Krishna is describing the mentality of the demoniac people. What is their mentality? They take shelter of insatiable lust. Insatiable lust means lust can never be satisfied. Lust can never be satisfied. So they take shelter of insatiable lust and absorbed in the conceit of pride and false prestige. These demoniac who are illusioned, we already discussed the word illusion in the previous Srila Prabhupada has explained. They are sworn to unclean work. So what kind of unclean work the demoniac engage in? Meat eating, intoxication, illicit sex, and gambling. So they are sworn to unclean work and they are attracted by the impermanent. So we all know, and Krishna has explained this before also, that how lust here also, insatiable lust can never be satisfied. So one may lust for a certain thing and one may also get it, but then is he satisfied? He wants it more and more. But what happens is that pleasure and the joy that one gets when one's lusty desire is fulfilled, how long does that last? How long does it last? Can it give you permanent happiness?
No.
It cannot give you permanent happiness. See, when somebody, let's say somebody enjoys meat eating, he's addicted to meat eating and he eats meat. How long does that taste linger on his tongue? Just
Few
from your
seconds.
mouth to the back of the throat. It is swallowed, it lasts for a few seconds. How, I don't know, maximum 30 seconds maybe. You are chewing it and then it is gone. So that joy, that so-called joy that you get also is impermanent. So the demoniac people, their mentality is that they are attracted by the impermanent. Why? They don't stop to think that, okay, I'm after joy, I want to be happy. So why don't I do that which is going to make me permanently happy? That is intelligence. I want to be happy. I want to enjoy. Okay, so engage in that which will give you enjoyment and happiness eternally. That is intelligence. But demoniac people, they are attracted by the impermanent.
Mataji, can I ask
attracting. What's that?
Can I ask you a question about demoniac nature? You said that they're attracted to these illicit sex, meat eating, and not regular following the principles. Even though if we are devotees and we are attracted to these things, we would be put in the demoniac nature.
So devotees, at least they are trying. At least they are trying to give it up. So if one is sincere, then and one surrenders to Krishna, one can at least begin the surrendering process by Shravanam and Kirtanam, by chanting and hearing, and pray to Krishna that, okay, my dear Lord Krishna, I'm addicted to these bad habits. Please help me. So Krishna reciprocates in proportion to our surrender. So the more we surrender, the more Krishna reciprocates. So the difference between a completely demoniac person and one person who's trying to give up his demoniac nature is that at least the person is trying, reaching out to Krishna. So Krishna will reciprocate. See, Arjuna in the beginning of the war, he was completely lost. isn't it? He was completely lost. He didn't know what to do. He didn't know what to do. But the one right thing he did was he reached out to Krishna. He reached out to Krishna. He asked Krishna, please instruct me. Please instruct me. So therefore, Krishna gave him guidance, and then ultimately Arjuna took the right decision. Arjuna took the right decision. So that's the difference between somebody who's trying and somebody who's completely demoniac like Duryodhana. Okay. So engage in asuchi vrata, unclean vows. Primarily two things, sex enjoyment and accumulation of material wealth. So primarily the unclean vows are these two things. Srila Prabhupada explains, sex enjoyment and accumulation of material wealth. Unclean habits, engage in wine, women, gambling and meat eating. So that's why these are the four regulative principles. If one wants to take initiation, one has to give up meat eating, intoxication, illicit sex and gambling. These are the four regulative principles. 11 and 12.
चिन्तामपरिमेयां च प्रलयान्तामुपाश्रिताः कामोपभोगपरमाम् एतावदिति निश्चिताः आशापाशशतैर्बद्धाः कामक्रोधपरायणाः ईहन्ते कामभोगार्थम् अन्यायेनार्थसञ्चयान्.
Translation: They believe that to gratify the senses is the prime necessity of human civilization. Thus, until the end of life, their anxiety is immeasurable. Bound by a network of hundreds of thousands of desires and absorbed in lust and anger, they secure money by illegal means of sense gratification.
So here Krishna is describing the demoniac attitude and the engagements of the demoniac. What is their attitude and what are the things that they engage in? So what is their attitude? They believe that to gratify the senses is the prime necessity of human civilization. There is nothing beyond sense gratification. Everything is bound, towards how can I eat better, how can I sleep better, how can I mate better, and how can I defend better. No, modern civilization is like this. How can I better these eating, sleeping, mating, and defending? That's all. That's the end of, that's the whole goal of human civilization for the demoniac. So thus, until the end of their life, their anxiety is immeasurable. Till the end, there is anxiety because they want to better it more and more and more, and there can never be satisfaction. Their desires can never be satiated. So then, bound by a network of hundreds of thousands of desires and absorbed in lust and anger, what do they end up doing? They secure money by illegal means for sense gratification. Because when you're earning money by honest means, that is not sufficient to satisfy all the desires for sense gratification that one has. So this is their attitude, no, that everything, the prime necessity of human civilization is to gratify the senses. And what are the engagements? What kind of things, what kind of activities they engage in? Krishna is saying they secure money by illegal means for sense gratification. And after after acquiring money by illegal means for sense gratification, what do they do next? Krishna is going to explain. Let's see 13, 14, and 15.
इदमद्य मया लब्धम् इमं प्राप्स्ये मनोरथम् इदमस्तीदमपि मे भविष्यति पुनर्धनम् असौ मया हतः शत्रुर्हनिष्ये चापरानपि ईश्वरोऽहमहं भोगी सिद्धोऽहं बलवान् सुखी आढ्योऽभिजनवानस्मि पुण्योऽस्ति सदृशो मया यक्षे दास्यामि मोदिष्य इत्यज्ञानविमोहिताः.
Translation: The demoniac person thinks, so much wealth do I have today, and I will gain more according to my schemes. So much is mine now, and it will increase in the future more and more, more and more. He is my enemy, and I have killed him. and my other enemies will also be killed. I am the Lord of everything. I am the enjoyer. I am perfect, powerful, and happy. I am the richest man, surrounded by aristocratic relatives. There is none so powerful and happy as I am. I shall perform sacrifices. I shall give money, some charity, and thus I shall rejoice. In this way, such persons are deluded by ignorance.
See, Krishna is saying, so after this demoniac person acquires money by illegal means, then what is his mentality? What is he thinking? What is such a person thinking after that? So Krishna says such a person thinks that, okay, I have so much wealth and I will gain more wealth. So all this is mine. So he's saying that now I am very rich and I will go on making more and more money in the future. And I have defeated and killed all my enemies. So like that in the future also all my enemies will be. So I am very rich. I am very powerful. I am the Lord of everything. I am the one who is in control. I am the controller here. I am the Lord of everything. I am the enjoyer. I am perfect, powerful, and happy. So he thinks that he is perfect, powerful, and happy, that he is rich and he is surrounded by aristocratic relatives. But of course, Maya, she doesn't play nice. Very soon, that power, that happy, that perfection over time is going to disappear. So a demonic person thinks that there is none so powerful and happy as I am. Then what is the thing? I shall perform sacrifices. I shall give some charity and thus I shall rejoice. So he's thinking that, okay, I'm engaging in all these kinds of activities and I will do some charity. I will do some yagyas and I can escape the karma. Then he thinks that I'll be safe. I will be safe because I've done a yagya, I've given some charity, and then I will be happy. I am safe. But that's not how the law of karma works. That's not how the law of karma works. So in such way, such persons are deluded by ignorance, Krishna is saying. 16.
अनेकचित्तविभ्रान्ता मोहजालसमावृताः प्रसक्ताः कामभोगेषु पतन्ति नरकेषु च.
Translation. Thus, perplexed by various anxieties and bound by a network of illusions, they become too strongly attached to sense enjoyment and fall down into hell.
So what is the result of such demonic activities? Krishna is explaining in this particular verse. See, he says, thus perplexed by various anxieties and bound by a network of illusions. Network of illusions. Krishna uses the word moha jala. Moha jala. So he's bound by a network of illusions. And they become very, very strongly, too strongly attached to sense enjoyment. And ultimately what happens? They fall down into hell. They fall down into hell. Narake, Krishna says narake. Because of their kama bhogeshu, because of their attachment to kama bhogeshu, to sense gratification, they are falling down to hell. So this is the result of these demoniac activities, Krishna is saying. See, Srila Prabhupada explains the purport. A network of illusion, moha jala, is compared to a fish in a net. There is no way to come out. When a fish is caught in the net, there is no way that the fish can come out. So, such a demoniac person is also, he's caught up in that moha jala, network of illusion. Examples of mohajal: no limits for the desire to enjoy, always planning to increase the stock of wealth, thinks that all his advancement is due to his current endeavor and not because of law of karma. So this is very typical of somebody who's very advanced, somebody who's made a lot of wealth. He would say, I'm a self-made man. This is my hard work. I used my intelligence. I made the right decisions. I made the right choices. Therefore, I am wealthy. No, so he will not accept that this is because of law of karma. Say if it's not written in one's karmic balance that one will have some material opulence, even though he may work very hard, even though he may be very intelligent, he will not be able to amass that amount of wealth. Anyone who comes into his competition is his enemy. Manufacture one's own process of yagya. Example, Ravana building staircase, or modern scientists trying to go to higher planets by mechanical arrangements. So Ravana, he proposed to build a staircase to heaven. He would tell Why you want to do all these austerities to go to Swarga? I will build a staircase that will take you to heaven. Of course, he never did it because it's not possible to do it, but he just bluffed. He just bluffed and he said that he will do it. Hmm. So modern scientist also is trying to make arrangements to go to higher planets by mechanical arrangements. But one should be qualified. If one wants to go to higher planetary systems, one should have the necessary qualification. One cannot go to a higher planetary system by any mechanical arrangement. One should deserve it and one should also desire it. See here, Srila Prabhupada actually explains this Ravana's proposal to build a staircase to heaven. It was in a morning walk. A devotee asked, just like Ravana could not reach the heavenly planets just by building the staircase. So Srila Prabhupada says that was only his demoniac proposal that we will make staircase. He said, why are you undergoing so much austerities to go to the heavenly planets? I shall make a staircase, you will go. Then Amoga Prabhu asks, how high did he make it? Srila Prabhupada says he never attempted, he simply bluffed, that's all. So demons' proposals are like that. 17.
आत्मसम्भाविताः स्तब्धा धनमानमदान्विताः यजन्ते नाम यज्ञैस्ते दम्भेनाविधिपूर्वकम्.
Translation: complacent and always impudent, deluded by wealth and false prestige, they sometimes proudly perform sacrifices in name only, without following any rules or regulations.
So these demonic people, they are self-complacent. They are satisfied with their position and are always impudent. They are always unwise, foolish. They are deluded by wealth and false prestige. And they sometimes proudly perform sacrifices in name only. Sacrifices in name means they may arrange, okay, I'm going to do this big, great yagya. But that yagya also is only in name, without following any rules or regulations. So Krishna uses the word avidhi purvakam. Avidhi purvakam. So this yagya is only for name, without following any rules or regulations. So this is what the demoniac people engage in. So it's their Krishna is here describing the hypocritical nature of the demoniac people. So why they are hypocritical is because they are doing the yagyas, but they are doing the yagyas without following any rules or regulations. So here Krishna is describing the hypocritical nature of the demoniac. And how do they do it? Avidhi purvakam. So another example is take sannyas dress without following the restrictions. So sometimes we know how bogus people, they wear saffron, but they are not following the rules and regulations of wearing that saffron. Only externally, because out of false prestige or because they want people to respect them, they wear sannyas dress. They may wear orange, but they're not following the rules and regulations. So that's why demoniac people, they are hypocritical. Disbelief in God. Some of the demoniac preachings are preach that whatever path one creates is one's path. There is no standard path. So see, this is how they preach. There is no standard path. Whatever you want to do, that is the path. But that's not how things work. No, path is what Krishna says. That is Shastra. You cannot manufacture your own set of rules and regulations and then say, yes, you can take this path. No, whatever I do, that is my path. That's not how things, that is demoniac mentality. Others concoct their own God. Some preach that God is dead. Others say you are all God. So these are the demoniac preachings, Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport. 18.
अहङ्कारं बलं दर्पं कामं क्रोधं च संश्रिताः मामात्मपरदेहेषु प्रद्विषन्तोऽभ्यसूयकाः.
Translation: bewildered by false ego, strength, pride, lust, and anger, the demons become envious of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is situated in their own bodies and in the bodies of others, and blasphemy against the real religion.
So these demons, they are bewildered by false ego, strength, pride, lust, and anger. And they become envious of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Remember, the reason why we are in this material world is because we wanted to become God. No, we were envious of the position of God. We did not want to be servants. We wanted to be masters. We wanted to enjoy independent of Him. So this is the problem with this mentality. So the demons become envious of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is situated in their own body. So they are envious of that very same personality who is situated in their own bodies. No, as a Paramatma, the Lord is there as a Paramatma and He is guiding each and every living entity. It doesn't matter whether the person is a demon or a saintly person. It does not matter. He is accompanying each and every one of us. So that the demoniac are envious of that very person who is there in his heart and guiding him as a Paramatma, life after life after life. So who is situated in their own bodies and in the bodies of others and blaspheme against the real religion. So they bring up their own religion, which we discussed here previously, which Srila Prabhupada explains here. No, they bring up their own rules and regulations and they are blaspheming against the real religion. So this is demoniac mentality. So here he's further explaining, Krishna is further explaining the hypocritical nature of the demoniac. So what causes envy? Material assets, so-called prestige and accumulation of wealth and strength, and lack of proper knowledge. Does not know that the present life is a preparation for the next life. What we are doing now is a moment-to-moment decision that we are making, and that is what is uh, already forming our next body. Whether our next body is going to be animal, demoniac, in the hellish planets, in the heavenly planets, that of a devata, that of Lord Brahma, or a spiritual body. So our moment-to-moment decisions that we make in this lifetime is a preparation for our next body. Result of envy, envious of his own self as well as of others, commits violence on others' bodies and his own self. Envious of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and blaspheme against real religion. Puts forward false arguments against the existence of God and denies the scriptural authority. Thinks himself independent and powerful in every action. One thinks that no one can equal him in strength, power, and wealth. If anyone tries to check his sensual activities, he makes plan to cut him down by his own power. So that this is demoniac nature. They don't want anybody to check him. He thinks that he's supremely powerful, supremely wealthy, and he doesn't want to be subordinate to another person. Everybody here wants to become a master, but our real position is that of a servant. See, a sample of the demoniac qualities is illustrated here. So, as I said, up to this verse, Krishna describes the demoniac natures. So, what can you see here? You can see here somebody is greedy, lusty, somebody is committing a murder, anger. No. This person is blaspheming against the devotees. He's criticizing and blaspheming the devotees. Somebody here is engaged in meat eating. So, a sample of the demoniac qualities is illustrated here. 16 to 22. What are the consequences and causes of demoniac activities? Let's see what Krishna says.
तानहं द्विषतः क्रूरान् संसारेषु नराधमान् क्षिपाम्यजस्रमशुभान् आसुरीष्वेव योनिषु.
Are you there, Aja?
Oh, sorry. I was reading translation. Those who are envious and mischievous, who are the lowest among men, I perpetually cast into the ocean of material existence, into various demonic species of life.
So what is the fate of the demoniac? What is the fate of the demoniac? Krishna is explaining. So what is he saying? Those who are envious and mischievous, who are the lowest among men, I perpetually cast into the ocean of material existence, into various demoniac species of life. So even if a demoniac person does not accept the authority of Krishna, no, he still is under the subjugation of Krishna. Because Krishna is saying that if one is envious and mischievous, he will perpetually cast them into the ocean of material existence. So whether one accepts Krishna or not, one is still under Krishna. Krishna is still the final authority. So Krishna says, I perpetually cast into the ocean of material existence into various demoniac species of life. Very, very strong statement. No, we see, because we always focus on how Krishna is merciful. Krishna is a very loving God. He's a loving father. But here you can see Krishna, it appears that Krishna is speaking out of anger. He's saying, those who are envious and mischievous, I perpetually cast them into the ocean of material existence, into various demoniac species of life. So one may question, I don't know if it's here or in one purpose here, Srila Prabhupada explains that one can question as to how can you say that Krishna is all merciful? Because here, where is Krishna showing mercy to the demoniac? He's saying that I will perpetually cast them into the ocean of material existence, into various demoniac species of life. So how one can question, no? How can you say that Krishna is all merciful? So if he's all merciful, then where is the mercy to the demoniac? But we will discuss this. It's there in one of the upcoming slides. So anyway, here Krishna is describing the fate of the demoniac. See here, in the Sanskrit, Krishna uses the word kruran. Kruran means very cruel. So the demoniac person is engaging in very cruel acts. But Srila Prabhupada uses, he gives the synonym. He translates it as mischievous. So what is it that we can understand from this is, see, Krishna is a loving father. So a loving father, when he sees that his son is going the wrong way, and the father may tell his son, let's say the son is engaged in some illegal activities. No, maybe he's engaged in some drug dealings. And the father tells the child that if you don't stop all these drug dealings, I will have to disown you and I will not give you any share in my property and you will have to leave my house. So is the father focusing more? Why is the father saying this? He is making a very strong statement when he says that he will disown the son and he will not give him a share in the property. But is the father wanting him to disown him, or the father actually wants him to give up his illegal activity? What is it that the father is focusing on? What is the father wanting the son to do when he says that?
Give up
Give up the
activities.
Yes, to give
He
up
should give up.
why is the father
Look at
making that strong
here.
statement? Is because he wants the son to give up that illegal activity. So in the same way, when Krishna is making this strong statement saying that I perpetually cast into the ocean of material existence, he's actually wanting us to give up all the wrong activities, and to come back on track. That's why Srila Prabhupada, he is using the word mischievous, because for a father, the son can never be cruel. No, for him, for a loving father, the son can be mischievous. No, mischievous. He's misbehaving, mischievous, but he can never be cruel. So therefore, you see how Srila Prabhupada is using. He's using the word mischievous to translate Kruran, and he also uses that in the translation, because this is what is Krishna's goal when he makes this strong statement. Okay, 16.20.
आसुरीं योनिमापन्नां मूढा जन्मनि जन्मनि मामप्राप्यैव कौन्तेय ततो यान्त्यधमां गतिम्.
Translation: Attaining repeated birth amongst the species of demoniac life, O son of Kunti, such persons can never approach me. Gradually they sink down to the most abominable type of existence.
So such a person can never approach me, Krishna says, okay? Such a person, such people who have these demoniac qualities that Krishna has elaborated in the previous verses from 7 to 18, Krishna says such people can never approach me. They attain repeated birth amongst the species of demoniac life. And gradually they sink down, so they are gliding down and down, lower and lower, to the most abominable type of existence. So again, Krishna is continuing his strong speech from his previous shloka. Further destiny of the demonic.
त्रिविधं नरकस्येदं द्वारं नाशनमात्मनः कामः क्रोधस्तथा लोभः तस्मादेतत्त्रयं त्यजेत्.
Translation: There are 3 gates leading to this hell: lust, anger, and greed. Every sane man should give these up, for they lead to the degradation of the soul.
So here Krishna is describing the 3 gates to hell. What are the 3 gates to hell? Lust, anger, and greed. Lust, anger, and greed, Krishna says, are the 3 gates leading to hell. So every sane man should give this up. Why should they give this up? Because if they do not give up lust, anger, and greed, it only leads to the degradation of the soul. Degradation of the soul. Kama, Krodha, Lobha. Lust, anger, and greed. 3 gateways to hell. When lust is not satisfied, it leads to anger and greed. No, because when lust is not satisfied, one is angry. And he is more greedy. He wants it more and more. There is more hankering. So therefore, lust, anger, and greed are the 3 gateways to hell. Now, what if lust is satisfied? Because we said if lust is not satisfied, it leads to anger and greed. But what if lust is satisfied?
We will go for it again, right?
Then you want more and more.
Huh?
Then you want more and more.
Yeah, so the bottom line is lust can actually never be satisfied because you want more and more. So lust is never satisfied. Okay, so there is no question of lust being satisfied. So therefore, Krishna is saying that every sane man should give this up. He's saying that it leads to the degradation of the soul. Nashanam atmanaha. Nashanam atmana. Nasha. Nasha means it destroys. It leads to the degradation of the soul. Now one may argue, but this Atma, soul, never changes. So how is Krishna saying it destructive? Nash. Uska nash kaise hoga? When the soul can never die, the soul can never change, the soul always remains changeless. We learned very early in our Gita classes, no? That the soul never changes. The soul is not born, is not dies. So how to understand this?
What's the question, Mataji?
Krishna uses the word nashanam atmanaha, destructive. So it destroys the atma. So my question is, we learned very early in our Gita classes that the soul cannot be destroyed. The soul never dies. The soul never changes. So how to understand this?
I could be wrong, but what I'm thinking is, yes, soul never dies, but when you do all these bad things and everything, you're harming the soul in one way, You're destroying it in a sense. So the soul is pure, but the things you're doing, bad things and all that, it's, in a way you're destroying the soul, not where it's going to be completely gone and all that, but, destructive in something like that. I'm not sure.
Yes, yes.
No spiritual progress. Right, and we just keep repeating the birth and death. We will be in that cycle.
Yeah, so we have to understand that here Krishna is not using the term in the literal sense. Not literally Atma will be destroyed. It's not, Krishna doesn't always literally uses the terms, but what he's referring to is that the soul will be degraded in the sense that the awareness of the soul will be destroyed, because the soul is aware, pure soul is aware that we are servants of the Supreme Lord, and because we are servants, we must serve, we must engage in devotional service. But that awareness, the awareness of the soul is destroyed when one does not give up the 3 gates leading to hell. So we must understand that Krishna does not always literally uses the terms. Okay. Okay, so why should we give the 3 gates to hell? Because they lead to a degradation of the soul to such an extent that there will be no possibility of liberation from this material engagement. So unless and until we do not engage in devotional service, we will not be able to come out of hellish existence. We will not be able to come out of demoniac mentality. So if we are going to engage in lust, anger, and greed, then the soul will be degraded so much that there will be no possibility of liberation from this material engagement. Now, how Krishna's description of demoniac nature fits Duryodhan so perfectly. Because if you see, Duryodhan was lusty, he was angry, and he was also greedy. He was lusty because he craved for Draupadi and tried to publicly disrobe her, his sister-in-law, and a woman of his own royal family, whose honor he was expected to protect. Actually, he should be protecting the honor of Draupadi because she's a member of his own royal family. But he did just the opposite. He ended up insulting her and tried to disrobe her publicly. Anger. He was angry right from birth. Why was I not born the disputed sole heir to the Kuru kingdom? Why did I have a blind father who could not inherit the kingdom? Why was I not born before Yudhishthir? So he had this anger right from birth. He was angry about this. And greed, driven by greed for the kingdom, Duryodhan had persecuted the Pandavas repeatedly by sidelining, maligning, defrauding, exiling, poisoning, and burning the Pandavas. So he was lusty, he was angry, as well as he was greedy. So the whole description that Krishna is giving about the demoniac qualities is so that Arjuna can see that he is going to have to kill these people on the opposite side. Otherwise, these people who have all these demoniac qualities, how they will bring about destruction in society. So you can see this person gliding down to hell. Lust, anger, and greed. 3 gateways that make a person glide down to the species of demoniac life. There is a nice video on greed. I'm going to have to stop my recording, otherwise I'm going to have copyright issues. 1 second. So we see how we can understand better, no? Why Krishna says that lust, anger, and greed are the three gateways to hell. Okay, last two verses. Let's finish up the chapter.
एतैर्विमुक्तः कौन्तेय तमोद्वारैस्त्रिभिर्नरः आचरत्यात्मनः श्रेयः ततो याति परां गतिम्.
Translation: The man who has escaped these three gates of hell, O son of Kunti, performs acts conducive to self-realization and thus gradually attains the supreme destination.
So if one gives up these three qualities of lust, anger, and greed, then one can be elevated. So this whole process of elevating ourselves is to give up lust, anger, and greed. So Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport, if you read how the Varnashram system, if one properly implements the Varnashram system, then every category, the Brahmanas, the Kshatriyas, the Vaishyas, and the Shudra, each one of them have their specific duties and tasks. And if each of them do their duties and tasks, then all of them can be elevated. So the Varnashram system is designed itself in such a way that no matter who you are, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, or Shudra, you can be elevated just by following the injunctions of the Shastra of your particular category. That is there in the purport. Now we have the last two verses.
यः शास्त्रविधिमुत्सृज्य वर्तते कामकारतः न स सिद्धिमवाप्नोति न सुखं न परां गतिम्.
Translation: He who discards scriptural injunctions and acts according to his own whims attains neither perfection nor happiness nor the supreme destination.
So what is the result of not following the Shastra? If you do not follow the Shastric injunctions, Shastra Vidim, then Krishna says that he will attain neither perfection nor happiness nor the supreme destination. See, perfection of human life is what? Ultimately to love God. But if we are not going to follow the Shastric injunctions, we will not be able to attain the perfection of this human life, nor will we be happy. We think that we can be happy by pursuing material sense gratification, but such a person cannot be happy, nor can such a person attain the supreme destination, Krishna is saying. So if we want to attain perfection, if we want to be happy, if we want to attain the supreme destination, then we have to follow the scriptural injunctions and not act according to our own whims. What we think is right. Last verse of the chapter.
तस्मात् शास्त्रं प्रमाणं ते कार्याकार्यव्यवस्थितौ ज्ञात्वा शास्त्रविधानोक्तं कर्म कर्तुमिहार्हसि. ॐ तत्सदिति श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासूपनिषत्सु ब्रह्मविद्यायां योगशास्त्रे श्रीकृष्णार्जुनसंवादे दैवासुरसम्पद्विभागयोगो नाम षोडशोऽध्यायः.
Translation: One should therefore understand what is duty and what is not duty by the regulations of scriptures. Knowing such rules and regulations, one should act so that he may gradually be elevated.
So now Krishna is concluding, therefore, one should understand what is duty and what is not duty. You should know what is right and what is wrong. But how do you decide what is right and what is wrong? By the regulations of the scriptures. Only from Shastra you can know what is the right thing to do and what is the wrong thing that one should not do. So knowing such rules and regulations, one should act so that he can be gradually elevated. So you have to act, you have to make a choice. No, Krishna is saying you have to act, you have to make a choice after you study the Shastra. So don't choose or don't make your decisions without learning the Shastra. So he's saying that yes, you make your choice, but after you understand the scriptures. And why should you make your choice after you understand the Shastra? Is so that you can be elevated. If we make our choices not based on Shastra, then we will be degraded. So we have to make choices, no? Our moment to moment choices that we are making in this lifetime is actually determining our future, our destiny in the next lifetime. So you see here, Krishna is saying that yes, you make a decision after you know the Shastra. So Bhagavad Gita is not a book of commandments. Krishna is not saying do this, do that. No, Krishna is giving you a choice. He's telling you make the right choice because we have minute independence, because we have our free will. We have to make our choices. But Krishna is saying, yes, you make your choice. Krishna is a book of, Bhagavad Gita is a book of choices, no? He's saying you make your choice, but after you study the Shastra, after you study the scriptures. So, here, last. So, see, one may make a decision, one may choose, one may make a choice based on so many different factors. One factor may be the mood. Today, I feel like doing this, so therefore I will do this. So we may take a decision based on how we feel on that particular day or for that particular event. Another thing may be logic. Something makes sense. Okay, doctor said, I should eat this. This is good for my health. So yes, it's logical. It makes sense. I need protein. I lack protein in my body, so I need to engage in meat eating. Fashion, everybody is doing it. आजकल के ज़माने में ये सब कौन करता है? Everybody is doing it. आजकल सब चलता है. No, everybody is doing it. It's a fashion. Somebody may say it's a family tradition. It's a family tradition that all of us on this auspicious day, we all get together and we have a nice party with some nice gambling and some nice food and drinks, no tradition. Every year we get together on this day and we have to play cards. Or emotions, no fear, friendship, false prestige, envy, material self-preservation. We may have some emotions, no out of fear we may want to make a choice, or out of friendship because we have a certain friendship with someone, so we may oblige into somebody, a friend, and we may do something that is scripturally not correct. So like that, based on so many emotions, we may make a decision. And then, but what Krishna is recommending is that we should choose according to scripture. We just do something because God wants us to do it. Now, keep this aside and let's take this example of a lighthouse. Now, we know that the lighthouse guides the ships on the sea. Now, this lighthouse is stable, it never moves. But if there is a movable lighthouse that is going on always moving, it will only cause confusion for the ships, isn't it? The lighthouse has to be fixed up, only then the ships can get proper guidance. You cannot have a moving lighthouse giving guidance to the ships. That will only cause confusion. So amongst all these factors here, mood, logic, fashion, tradition, emotions, and scripture, which do you think comes under the category of an immovable lighthouse? What is it that never changes? Does mood change?
Scripture.
Does logic
Scripture.
change? Yeah, scripture, isn't it? The scripture,
Yeah.
Shastra will never change. What Krishna spoke in the Bhagavad Gita, is that going to change
No.
ever? No,
No.
it will always remain the same. Of course, there are other unscrupulous people who twist the meaning of Krishna's words. But what Krishna spoke always remains the same. That's why you must always read Bhagavad Gita translated by Srila Prabhupada, because Srila Prabhupada's Gita is Bhagavad Gita as it is, as Krishna spoke, not as I like it. No. So anyway, scripture never changes. So Shastra is the immovable lighthouse. Therefore, we must make scripture the first and the last deciding factor when we have to make our decisions, when we have to choose. So on that note, you can read points from the pulpit and the summary of the chapter when I share the slides in the group. On that note, by the mercy of Guru and Krishna, we come to the end of chapter number 16. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki.
Jai.
Yeah.
We have any questions or comments?
Mataji, Radha Ashmi is coming. Tell us what to do.
Yeah,
How to-
so Wednesday, is the most auspicious Sri Radha Ashtami, the appearance day of Srimati Radharani. On this day, we must most definitely pray to her so that we can advance nicely, so that she can remove all obstacles coming in the path of our spiritual progress. See, if you see the deities of Radha Krishna, Krishna is busy playing his flute. But Srimati Radharani is the one who's blessing us, isn't it? If you see Srimati Radharani, she's in that blessing position. So she's more merciful than Krishna. She's the one who recommends us to Krishna. No? And because Srimati Radharani desires it, Krishna will fulfill the desire of Srimati Radharani. So we must pray to her for our spiritual progress. And we fast till 12 noon. Till 12 noon, complete fasting. If you have a health issue, then you see how far you can go, or you want to drink water because you have a health issue. But if you have no health problems, then recommended is to fast completely without drinking water, without eating anything, up to 12 noon. And then you can break your fast with normal grain prasad, whatever your temple provides. Okay?
Thank you so much, Mataji.
You're
Hare
welcome.
Krishna.
So Radhashtami is the only day when the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani are open
Shown.
for darshan. All the days, if you observe, the feet of Krishna will be open for darshan. No, the pujaris, when they dress the deities, the feet of Krishna will be exposed. But Srimati Radharani's feet are always covered. Only once in a year, the feet of Srimati Radharani are open for darshan, and that is on Radhashtami. And that is on Radhashtami.
Haribol.
Okay.
Why so?
Out of respect. Out of respect.
Okay.
Yeah, because he is Madana Mohana. Krishna is Madana Mohana. He is the attractor of thousands of cupids. But Srimati Radharani is Madana Mohana Mohini. She is that personality who attracts that personality who attracts the thousands of cupids. No, whole world is mad after Krishna, but Krishna is mad after Srimati Radharani. And see, and Srila Prabhupada, how he taught us, no, when we refer to Srimati Radharani, we are applying double honorific titles. We say her name is Radha, but we say Srimati before her name and Rani after her name. Srimati, Radha, Rani. So we are applying double honorific titles when we refer to her, when we refer to Srimati Radharani. But Krishna, sometimes we just refer to as Krishna, not necessarily always Lord Krishna or Sri Krishna. But so many times it's just Krishna. Even if you read the purports of Srila Prabhupada, many times Krishna is just referred to as Krishna because Prabhupada, so Srimati Radharani is respected that much more compared to Lord Sri Krishna. Okay.
Okay.
So we must be very, very careful when we are dealing with Srimati Radharani. We should be very careful not to commit any offenses, not to misunderstand her. And if you see also, very little is spoken about Srimati Radharani across the lectures of ISKCON. Hardly any lectures you will find. Very, very few lectures on Srimati Radharani you will be able to find on the internet, because very, very confidential subject matter. Very, very confidential subject matter.
Thank you.
Srila Prabhupada spoke very little about Srimati Radharani. So we should be very careful, and let's use this opportunity to invoke her mercy. Let's fast till 12 noon. It's not difficult at all. It's very easy, but the benefit is very great. Benefit is very great. Here it is on Wednesday. I don't know when it is in India. Anybody knows?
No.
It's Wednesday here as well in America.
Mataji, what is the benefits of fasting?
Purification. Purification, invoking the mercy. Let me check the date, India date. India also, it's on Wednesday, September 11th. So it's the same. Okay. Anything else? The last day for submitting your exam is
14.
13th, I think so. 14th is our next class. No, 14th is our next class. 13th is the last day to submit.
Oh.
It's very easy paper this time. Only 50 multiple choice questions. It's a very,
Yes.
very easy paper. So I'm sure many of you are going to get full marks or high scoring marks.
Yes.
Okay. Anything else?
No.
All right, then see you all in the next class if Krishna so sanctions. In the next class, we will begin chapter number 17, titled The Divisions of Faith. Divisions of Faith. What Krishna explained in chapter 16 is divine and demoniac natures. So white and black, no? Those who have transcendental qualities, they are divine. Those who have demoniac qualities, they are demons. Now in the next chapter, Arjuna wants to know, what about those people who are in between, who are neither white nor black? Arjuna wants to know about the gray areas, no? So that's what leads us to the next chapter, chapter number 17, where Krishna is going to discuss the gray areas. What about those who are not completely divine and not completely demoniac? So that we will see in chapter number 17 of Krishna so sanctions. Till then, have a nice week in Krishna consciousness.
Thank you.
Kalpataruvhyascha kripa sindhu vyeva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila
Jai.
Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very
Hare
much.
Krishna, Dana Pranam Mataji. Thank you so
Hare
much.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna
to all.
Thank you so much.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you.
Happy Radha Ashtami to all.
Thank you. Wish you the same.
Thank you.
Happy Radha Ashtami to